Well, cracks are starting to show over at the FBI. A new report by the Washington Times is indicating that the FBI's director, Christopher Wray, has lost control of the bureau and is being called to resign. It comes just a few days after Special Agent Timothy Tebow resigned from the agency and was walked out after he was accused of acting with political bias in his handling of information given to the FBI in 2020 in regards to Hunter Biden. A lawyer and former FBI agent Kurt Zustak, who represented whistleblowers at the Bureau, told the Washington Times, "I'm hearing from FBI personnel that they feel like the director has lost control of the Bureau. They're saying, how does this guy survive? He's leaving. He's got to leave." According to the New York Post, Mr. Zustak left the FBI in March because he felt bosses weren't held accountable for actions, including politicisation. The FBI later released a statement dismissing that any bad conduct wouldn't have penalties. The men and women of the FBI work hard every day to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. All employees are held to the highest standards of professional and ethical conduct, and we expect them to focus on process, rigour and objectivity in the performance of their duties. It continued. Allegations of misconduct are taken seriously and referred to the Inspection Division or appropriate investigative body. In reality, the FBI is comprised of 37,000 employees who do it the right way on a daily basis to keep our nation safe by fighting violent crime, preventing terrorist attacks, and defending America from espionage and cyber threats. But the FBI has been at the centre of scandals the last few months for potentially acting with political bias in regards to a few matters. When FBI agents raided the home of former President Donald Trump, it created controversy as the Bureau has never raided the homes of Hunter Biden or Hillary Clinton, despite calls for them to do so. Last week, when Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan's podcast, his comments created a stir. The Facebook founder told Mr. Rogan that before the 2020 election, the FBI warned the social media network of potential Russian propaganda about to be dumped. Joe Rogan asked Mr. Zuckerberg whether the FBI specifically warned about stories relating to Hunter Biden, to which Zuckerberg said not specifically, but that it fits the pattern. Last month, Senator Chuck Grassley wrote a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Christopher Wray, where he presented some pretty interesting allegations. He said multiple credible whistleblowers had alleged to him that the Bureau was given derogatory information about Hunter Biden right before the 2020 election and passed it off as disinformation. Timothy Tebow, the agent who recently resigned, allegedly ordered all reporting on Hunter Biden to be closed in 2020. It's been alleged that the FBI HQ team suggested to FBI agents that the information was at risk of disinformation. However, according to allegations, all of the reporting was either verified or verifiable via criminal search warrants. In addition, ASAP Tebow allegedly ordered the matter closed without providing a valid reason as required by FBI guidelines. He also allegedly attempted to make sure the investigation wouldn't be opened again in the future. Christopher Wray faced the Senate Judiciary Committee last month, where he was probed about the allegations, where he called them deeply troubling.
Isn't it true that Mr. Tebow, Agent Tebow, and FBI Supervisory Intelligence Analyst Brian Otan covered up derogatory information about Mr. Hunter Biden while working for the FBI?
Well, again, I want to be very careful not to interfere with ongoing personnel matters. I should say that when I read the letter that describes the kinds of things that you're talking about, I found it deeply troubling.
Just yesterday, former US Attorney Brett Tolman told Fox News that things are starting to get away from the FBI.
I see unraveling in the FBI and the Department of Justice, or perhaps it's damage control. There's no coincidence in my mind that you have the Joe Rogan interview that reveals that the FBI clearly made a connection of Russian disinformation and the Hunter Biden release. You then have some of the specific agents in question, like Thibault. Not to mention you have Jim Jordan, who goes on and is indicating that they are going to do a lot of oversight if they regain control of the House. To me, what I see is a DOJ, not to mention Merrick Garland now has announced new rules with political appointees. Why all this all of a sudden? I think it's because it's starting to get away from them. I think the fact that the politics of their agents, the politics of the office, not being able to contain it in-house is causing them to say, we better do something so that we can then say, hey, once we saw it in real time, then we took care of it. And unfortunately, it's a little too late.